United States Navy Seabees or the United States Marine Corps. Ladies and gentlemen, Senior Jonathan Walcott. Next, we have Senior Philip Thomas Hollis. He is the son of Mr. and Miss Stephen Hollis. Tonight, he is escorted by his parents and sister Morgan. Philip has played football since he was 4 years old and is proud of Dragons since the 8th grade. He is a member of the SCA. In the Future Dragons Club. He participates in the Toy Lift for Green. He was the Grand Marshal of the Junior Grand Marshal of the 2019 4th of July Parade. Philip has also completed his EM. Philip Hollis. Next we have Senior Sam Hess. He is the son of Kenneth and Nancy. Sam is just 4 years. Sam is a member of Scout Troop 75 in the final stages of learning the Eagle. He is also a member of the Order. Is also in Young Life. Just today, from NASA Langley Research Center, he was awarded the Virginia Earth System Science Scholars Program. Congratulations, Sam. Next year, he plans graduation aren't set, but he's very interested in engineering. Senior Sam Hess. Definitely last, but definitely not least, is senior number 84, Evan Wagner. He is the son of Joe and Lisa Wagner. Tonight, he's escorted by his parents. He's been a member of the varsity football team for 3 years, earning all district honors at tight end as a junior. He has played varsity soccer for 3 years as the team's goalie. He was a swim team state qualifier in his younger life. He's FBLA, serves as president for the last 2 years, and in DECA, he is a historian. Next year, he plans to attend a 4-year college or university, major in sports administration, and play football. Senior Evan Wagner. There they are, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Dragon football team, class of 2020. We thank you all for your time and efforts in making Women the best it can be. We wish you all the best of luck in your future endeavors. And Godspeed. Remember, you're always welcome back here at Martin Mooney Field. Thank you, guys. All right, guys, you're dismissed to head back to the locker room to get ready to play this ball game.
Clock operator? No.
He's not here yet.
All right. Well, he's got card for you.
Not for me. I'm just doing
Hot pod in the end zone, so I'm just standing here where it's a little warmer. Fair enough. We have any radio tonight?
No, we have live. We just have live streaming going on next door with student class. All righty, moving on to the cheerleaders. We have senior Lindsay Acree. She's the daughter of Lisa and Matt Acree. At night, she's escorted by her mom and dad. Lindsay has been a part of the competition in football cheer squad for all 4 years. She is active member of the forensics team, the SEA, and the International Thespians Honor Society. Next year, she plans to attend school and study business and marketing and communication. Senior Lindsay Acree. Next, we have senior Lauren Reynolds, the daughter of Corey and Kevin Reynolds. Tonight, she is escorted by her parents. She has been a 3-year member of the competition team and the football squad. She is in the FCLA. She is involved in theater. She's a member of the International Thespians Honor Society, the National Honor Society, a member of Drop the Bass a cappella, and then a student in the Blue Ridge Virtual Governor School. Next year, she plans to study mechanical or electrical engineering at a 4-year institute with intent on working for the DOD. Senior Lauren Reynolds. Next, we have senior Leah Faith Slayton. She is the daughter of Diane Dotson. Tonight, she's escorted by her stepmom, Teresa Powell, and brother, Caleb Powell. She has been a member of the cheerleading squad for 2 years. Next year, she plans to attend PVCC and then transfer to JMU to study architecture. Senior Leah Slayton. Next up, members of the Marching Dragons. Senior Anna Barrett is the daughter of Harry and Carolyn Barrett. Tonight, she's escorted by her parents. She's played in the marching band for 5 years and serves as the drum captain this year. She has also made all-district band for the past 2 years and has upcoming auditions. She also participates in FCCLA and the plays for the varsity girls soccer team. She plans to attend a 4-year college and pursue a career in occupational therapy. Senior Anna Barrett. Next, we have senior Joseph Caceres. He's the son of Jorge and Corey Caceres and Alba Bustillo. Tonight, he's escorted by Haley Staler and Emily Ramsey. He's been in the color bar for 4 years and the jazz band for 3. He's a member of the FCCLA and the Tri-M Society. Next year, he plans to attend VAM, Vocational Academy of Makeup and Prosthetics and Modern Effect Makeup Artistry. Ladies and gentlemen, Senior Joseph Caceres. Next, we have Senior Valeria Hernandez Cervantes. She is the daughter of Alma and Augustin Hernandez. Tonight, she's escorted by her parents. She's been in the band for 7 years, playing in the jazz band for 2 and marching band for 4. She's a member of the HOSA, where she serves as the secretary. She's in the Tri-M Society and the National Honor Society. Next year, she plans to attend a college or university and get a bachelor's degree in nursing. Senior Valeria Hernandez Cervantes. Next, we have Senior Jaden Kowal. She's the daughter of Terry and Vaughn Kowal. Tonight, she's escorted by her parents. She's been in the color guard for 4 years, serving as captain in the past 3. 2019 color guard placed first at the Cavalcade competition and second at the Powhatan Fall Classic. She is also in the FCCLA, the International Thespian Honor Society, also a member of the National Art Honor Society, and a member of the Forensics and Speech team. She also runs tech for the school's drama programs. Next year, she plans to audition for the Drum Corps International this summer and also plans to attend a 4-year university and study architecture and theater. Senior Jaden Kowal. Next, we have Senior Emily Lamb. She's the daughter of Phil and Josephine Lamb. Tonight, she's escorted by her parents. She's been in the marching band and color guard for 3 years. She's a member of the Forensics team, International Thespian Honor Society, FCCLA, Drop the Bass, Tech for High, and she also serves as a tech for high school productions. Next year, she plans to attend a 4-year college or university, majoring in fashion design. Senior Emily Lamb. Next, we have Senior Aaron Shiflett. He's the son of WHM Paige Shiflett. Tonight, he's escorted by his parents. He's been the marching band brass section leader for 2 years, participates in the jazz symphonic band and pit orchestra for the past 4. He's also president of the Tri-M Music Honor Society. Next year, he hopes to attend Shenandoah University in music conservatory and major in music performance. Senior Aaron Shiflett. Next, we have Senior Zachary Teal. He's the son of Karen and Mark Teal. Tonight, he's escorted by his mother. He's been the marching band for 5 years and serves as this year's drum major. He's a member of the symphonic band, the jazz band, the orchestra pit, and over the course of his high school career, he plans to attend a 4-year college or university and study filmmaking. Senior Zachary Teal. Last but not least is Senior Noah Van, the son of Rhonda and Ron Kleinstitch. Tonight, he's escorted by his parents and grandmother, Janice. Noah has played soccer for 2 years and been in the marching band for 4. He's a member of the National Honor Society and Beta Club. Next year, plans to attend George Mason University and study criminology and forensic psychology. Ladies and gentlemen, Senior Noah Van. All right, there they are, ladies and gentlemen, members of the cheer squad and the marching dragons. We thank you all for your hard work and dedication in helping make things be the best they can be here at William Monroe. Remember, you're always welcome back at Martin Mooney Field. Thank you for all you've done, and Godspeed. Thank you.
Okay. No, someone said, thank you, Brian.
Who said that?
I don't know. Did you do it?
Yeah.
That door's locked. you.
Welcome to Martin Mooney Field. It's playoff time. I'm Ryan Flynn, joined in the booth by my brother Joseph as the William Monroe Dragons take on the Skyline Hawks here in the Region 3B playoffs. The Dragons are the 4 seed, coming in with a 6-4 record on a 4-game win streak. The Skyline Hawks are 5-5 as the 5 seed, led by Coach Heath Gilbert. The Dragons are led by head coach John Rocha. This is their this is Monroe's first time in the playoffs since 2016. Then they faced Petersburg and lost 51-14. Now, 3 years later, this is a completely different team. A handful of seniors, including Dupree Rucker, who, with 153 yards, will not only break the single-season Monroe rushing record, but hit 2,000 yards for the first time since 2007 when Takeem Hedgeman did it for Monticello High School. These two teams met last on October 18th with Monroe winning 41-27. But Skyline's hungry and looks to come back for a win.
Skyline will receive the kickoff. Going into this game, Will Auer is the kicker with a great leg. We'll be looking possibly at a touchback to start the game. We want to pin Skyline deep and stop their rushing game. As Ryan said, last game they had almost 400 yards of rushing between their 1-2 punch of their running back and their fullback. So containing that running game today will be essential for the Monroe defense.
And speaking of containing the running game, that's also what Skyline has to do. Both teams are very run-heavy, and containing both Rucker from Monroe and Skyline's 1-2 punch with their halfback and fullback will be essential for these wins.
As Will Hour gets set up to kick, let's get ready for some Friday Night Lights, people. It is the William Monroe Dragons versus the Skyline Hawks. Their second time facing off this year, with Monroe winning the first one.
And there's the kickoff. To be caught at about the 3-yard line. The run. Breakthrough. Still on his feet and down. At about the 40-yard line, the 43-yard line to be exact. And we will get to see sophomore quarterback Blake Appleton come out and lead this Hawks offense.
There was a flag in the back holding on Skyline, a 10-yard penalty.
Now we will get to see back again. Now we'll get to see sophomore quarterback Blake Appleton lead this Hawks offense. He had over 1,500 yards of passing and 19 touchdowns this season. So back Skyline on up to about the 15-yard line about. First and 10 Skyline. The snap, it'll be a handoff. Get about 5 yards. That is their halfback. David Carter there.
David Carter, the running back, carrying it there.
Second and about 6 here from the Monroe.
It is 2nd and 10 with Monroe holding Carter to the line of scrimmage there. Here comes the snap. It is a short throw out to Logan Mayatico, their wide receiver.
Appleton pass complete to Matiaco. Tackle made by William Monroe, Shea Jeffers.
Shea Jeffers with the tackle there. That brings us to about 3rd and 8 with a gain of 2.
Monroe looking to pin him back and get a quick 4th and out here to start the game. Maybe get some momentum on their side as they get to offense. Appleton shotgun. Gets a snap. Looks back to pass. He'll throw. Short pass. That is caught.
Caught by Anthony Domino, the wide receiver. That will move the chains with a gain of about 10 yards.
First down, Skyline.
First down, Skyline.
So we talked about this running game for both teams, but both Appleton and Monroe quarterback Jordan Knights have been on tears lately, so we'll get to see arms tonight. Appleton takes snap, hands off. And Carter is stuffed in the backfield.
Carter, the ball carrier for Skyline.
There appears to be a flag on the field.
Penalty is false start.
False start on Skyline. That will move them back 5 yards as they line up again with a repeat of first down.
So ball on about the 22-yard line-ish. There's a snap, another run.
Handoff.
And he will be stuffed again for no gain. In fact, that's Monroe.
With the carry. Tackle made by William Monroe's Isaiah Taylor.
And this Monroe defense will stifle you. They will get the ball back quickly and drive down to score.
A gain of 0 there. The ball still on the 22-yard line with Monroe rising nicely to meet Carter at the line of scrimmage.
So do you think we'll see another run play here? I mean, they've done it 3 times in a row now, 3 or 4 times in a row.
It seems to be a timeout on Skyline.
Timeout, Skyline.
We will be back in a few seconds.
Welcome back. Skyline is out of the timeout. They're in a third down situation here. Another handoff. There's a hole, and he will be trucked back. It looks like about a gain of about 2 yards now from where he was trucked. He had about a.
Caden Pritchett with the stand up there.
And you want to talk about defensive hold. Caden Pritchett and Jeremy Savoie are the anchors of this Monroe defense. So look for them to make some big plays tonight.
That brings it to 3rd and 13 for the Hawks. Anthony Domenico closest to you. Their wide receiver. Appleton takes the snap.
He'll look to run, and he will get nowhere and be sacked. That's the Monroe defense stifling again. 4th down.
Isaiah Taylor and Xavier Kolpak combined for the sack there. That brings up the punt team for the Skyline Hawks. Douglas Cummings is back to punt with Logan Barber at the 50 to receive the Skyline punt. Here's the snap.
Cummings will beat it away. Barber backpedaling will get it.
Barber lets it bounce to about the 28-yard line. A good roll for Skyline there with Cummings booting that ball. Savoie too close to receive the punt effectively. That brings it to 1st down for the first time the Monroe offense steps on the field in a playoff game in 3 years.
And it is completely different. They're led by senior Jerry Knights and running back Drew Rucker, who, as I mentioned at the top of the show, needs only 153 yards to get to 2,000 for the season. Knights in the shotgun. Behind center. Looking, that'll be a handoff to Rucker. Rucker will power through. Looks like a gain of about 2 on the play.
Should be able to take advantage of that and have Dupree running all game.
Knights under center. Once again, half to Rucker. Look to go outside, but he will bounce off. Tackler and pick up
about 2 or 3 yards there. Kind of stutter stepping around and bouncing around, trying to find a hole, but could not find one.
And beginning the show, we mentioned that Monroe beat Skyline about a month ago, 41-27. So Skyline is going into this game just as hungry as Monroe and looking to avenge that loss.
Having some hold on the field with Rucker needing to fix his helmet as they're in the huddle. Hoffacker offering a nice touch on the head to make sure that helmet is secured as the Dragons come up to the line of scrimmage.
So now 3rd down.
Pitch to Rucker. Rucker runs outside and blows through a couple of tacklers.
Rucker with the carry.
With Skyline's
And that's
Christopher Moen, the linebacker, making the stop there. Dupree gets enough yardage there to move the chains, putting the ball on about the Monroe 38-yard line.
Ball on about the Monroe 38. Knights will hand off to Rucker again. Go up the middle. Bounce outside. You get tackle. That's about a 3 or 4 yard gain.
with the carry for Monroe.
Excuse me, that's a 7 yard gain. 2nd and 3 as the Dragons looked across midfield on their first offensive possession of the game. The Dragons come into this playoff game on a 4-game win streak after losing to Brentsville 13-10 on homecoming night a couple of second half miscues. They rebounded in a huge way. And coming into this game, riding a bunch of momentum. There's another handoff to Rucker. Excuse me, that is Shiflett for about a yard.
Philip Shiflett with the carry for the Dragons.
So third down and about
Official
And-
timeout.
a couple inches coming up. So official timeout.
They are bringing the chains out to measure it. From up here in the booth, it looks a little short, but the chains will see, possibly getting the nose of the ball over to move those chains forward as they find the yard marker and place it down. They will come up a couple inches short of the first down there for Shiflett. So that brings up third down and inches for the Dragons as Skyline is on the line and Monroe breaks the huddle.
So Monroe coming out here again. With Knight to center and Rucker and Shiflett in the backfield.
Hand off to Shiflett as he tries to power through the pile and get the first down.
Shiflett with the carry.
Might have gotten the first down there, but it looked like his forward momentum may have been stopped. They might bring the chains out again, and the officials are signaling that is a first down. Let's move those chains 10 more yards and keep it going.
So move those chains, move those chains, move those chains. Huh. About 10 yards. So cross midfield a bit here not across midfield, nearing midfield. They're on the 44-yard line.
Hand off to Barber as he is wrapped up in the backfield, cutting away, but then wrapped up again by David Carter, who gets him in the backfield for a loss of about 2, putting it at 2nd and 12. Sorry, that's a loss of 1. So 2nd and 11 for the Monroe Dragons.
So 2nd and 11 from Monroe here. Knights under center with Rucker and Shiflett in the backfield.
That's a throw, but incomplete as Knights was under pressure in the pocket as he lobbed one up to Drew Hoffacker there, but overthrew Hoffacker.
3rd down and 12 coming up. That was the first pass of the game for the Monroe offense, which this season has been relying on Dupree a lot. And it's obviously gotten them somewhere because they're in the playoffs. But maybe they're looking to mix it up against Skyline here.
At the beginning of the year, the Monroe offense was really trying to find their footing as we have a lot of seniors and a new starting quarterback as Knights drops back to pass to Barber. Barber looking for flags.
There is a flag on the
And there is a flag on the field. As we wait and see what the officials say it is. I was saying the Monroe offense was iffy at the beginning of the season, trying to find their footing around Dupree, trying to lock into his run game and harnessing his energy.
So
The penalty is against the Dragons, putting them back 5 yards, bringing it to about 4th and 16. And bringing out the punt team.
So that drive was stifled, and Willauer will come out to punt again to the Skyline offense. As Joe mentioned, Hour's leg in the beginning, look for maybe a touchback. With a booming punt by Hour.
It was a low snap, so he got it off. That ball rolls to about the 28, where it is picked up by Skyline. Second hop, and he was rocked by Barber, fumbling the ball. As you heard from the crowd, we apologize for the camera.
You got it.
The ball was fumbled as they looked for possession. And it seems that Skyline did recover the ball there.
Skyline football.
That puts the ball at the 36-yard line.
Ball on the 36 for Skyline. I apologize there. Appleton under center. Looks back to pass. He will. That'll be caught.
Pass to Haley,
And
who
he will
is tracked
juke.
down by Caden Pritchett.
Pass complete to Haley. Tackle made by William Rose, Katie Pritchett.
Gain of about 4 there. Appleton under center. He'll lob it up. It'll be incomplete.
Ball was thrown out of bounds there. Ruled incomplete.
So, third down coming up as the Dragons look to force another 4 and out. 3rd and 7 coming up. Once again, the Dragons look to force another 3 and out. Get back on offense.
.249 left in the quarter as Appleton hands it off. To
Santucci, the carrier for Skyline. Tackle made by William Rose.
Darian Santucci, the fullback, bringing that to 4th and 1 as the Hawks decide to go for it.
They will whole run up, and I believe that was
Santucci with the carry again to the ball about the 50-yard line.
Santucci with the carry. First down, Skyline.
So move the chains for Skyline as they are at midfield looking to break into Monroe territory. And get the first points of the game here on the board as we near the 2-minute warning about of the first quarter. Appleton back, looks to throw.
That ball is hauled in by Anthony Domino
Pass complete to Domino.
all the way down
First down.
to the Monroe 10, it looks like.
And a huge game for Skyline. I was just talking about putting up the first points on the board. Looks like they're going to try and do just that. So ball in about the 10.
Fed out to Haley.
It's a Skyline touchdown.
Touchdown, Skyline.
Haley, the wide receiver there with the touchdown. That puts him to 14 touchdowns on the season in 54 receptions. Skyline's Cummings on to kick the extra point.
There's a snap. It's up, and it is good. So Skyline leads 7-0 here as we're about a minute and a half away from the end of the first quarter. It's Skyline 7, Monroe nothing. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back to Martin Mooney Field, the Region 3B playoffs. I'm Ryan Flynn, joined by my brother Joe. The 7-0 Skyline Hawks over your Monroe Dragons here, as we have about a minute and a half left in the first quarter.
With Appleton connecting with Haley on that last drive for the Skyline touchdown, and Cummings kicking the ball through the uprights to put it to 7-0. Cummings on again for the kickoff.
The booming kickoff.
With Hoffacker catching it on the sideline as it goes out of bounds, putting the ball at the Monroe 35-yard line, it looks. So 1st and 10 from the Monroe 35-yard line for the second drive of the day from the Monroe Dragons, and Jared Knight at quarterback.
Knight's under center. He'll take the snap. That'll be a handoff to Dupree Recker. On the outside. He'll get some yards. He'll break a tackle. He's free. Through the 50, the 40. And he will be dropped down at about the
That is
35.
Dunlap wrapping Rucker up at about the 35-yard line of Skyline. So we are moving those chains big time, with Dupree seeming to find his stride on the second drive. We'll see what holds out for the rest of the game. As like we said at the beginning of the game, Dupree needed 153 yards going into the game to surpass 2,000 rushing yards. The first time a Central Virginia running back has done that since 2007.
Knight's back under center. He'll hand it off to Recker, who will spin and get nowhere. He's dropped.
Loss of about 2 yards there.
Rucker with the carry.
As the clock is winding down in the first quarter, with about 30 seconds left. Looks as if Monroe might be able to get off one more play before the clock hits 0.
Running down to about 10 seconds. Monroe looking for another play. Be a handoff to Rucker. Oh, excuse me, that'll be a throw by Jared Knight.
Knight's rolling out, and the ball caught by Drew Hoffacker. Those two have been a great duo this year, having been through school together and great friends off the football field. They really connect on the football field, with Knights and Hoffacker having a great duo this year. That's the end of the first quarter, with the Skyline 7 and the Dragons nothing. A handoff to Rucker, and he is stopped at about the 31 yard line.
Rucker with the carry for Monroe.
Knight's under center. That'll be another handoff to Rucker. He'll bounce outside. Look for some running room. He'll get it. He's going. And he will
All the
be.
way pushed out at about the 5-yard line.
So that's another first down for William Monroe as they are in scoring range at about the Skyline 5, looking to punch it in and even this game up.
It's possible, looking at how Dupree is running this game, that he will get those 153 yards within the first half. His last 6 games having all been over 200 yards rushing.
Knights under center. That'll be another handoff to Rucker. He'll look for the hole. And he won't find it getting stuffed for about a yard. So 2nd and goal for Monroe. And you talked about Rucker literally running this game. I mean, that is a lot of their offense is to Rucker, and he has just been, it's either one or two things. He gets out and he's gone, or the defense can stuff him.
And if Rucker can find a hole in some running room, you'll be hard-pressed to stop him, except if you can track him down with 2 or 3 people or get him out of bounds.
2nd and goal. Knights hand off to Rucker. To find a hole.
Stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
Rucker with the carry for Monroe.
So 3rd down and goal, as expect for them to go to Rucker again and look for him to try to find another hole and get into the end zone.
As Monroe tries to defeat Skyline for a 2nd time this season, having bested them once before.
And tries to get the first playoff wins in 2016. Knights under center. 3rd and goal to Rucker. He'll push through, and he is...
It's a shoving match at the goal line, and
He's in! Touchdown, Monroe! Dupree Rucker punched it into the end zone. It's 7-6. As Will Hour and the special teams unit will come out and try to tie this game.
at the end it seemed to be a shoving match between the O-line and the D-line there, between Monroe and Skyline, trying to get Rucker, who looked to be in the middle, into the end zone with our setting.
It is good. So it's 7-7 here as we are just getting about started with the second quarter.
Half here. We'll be back in a couple seconds with it tied up. Monroe Dragons
Welcome back to Martin Mooney Field. You're with the dynamic Flynn Twins as it is 7-7 between the Monroe Dragons and Skyline Hawks. As 0 hour is set to kick off with
what looks like two receivers in the back for Skyline.
as Hour will boot it away.
It is received by Marion Haley,
And
who
he
scored
will
the touchdown earlier, as he finds some running room as he is up to the 50-yard line. It looks like Pritchard is trying to chase him down as he gets across the 30, the 20, the 10. Touchdown Skyline, running the kickoff back from Monroe. But there is a flag on the play as we see what it is.
if it stands, it would be about an
That looks like, if it stands, it would be an
90.
85-yard run from Marion Haley.
We'll
of
have to see what the
Skyline.
flag is. Hopefully it's on Skyline. Because that would be a quick change. Holding on Skyline. Is that going to erase the touchdown? I think it is.
That is going to erase the touchdown.
Penalty is against Skyline.
And the ball will be placed at the spot of the foul for Skyline, having a first down So we will see where the ball is placed, 5 yards from the spot of the foul. My apologies. So it looks like Skyline will start with it from their own 37-yard line.
So whip the touchdown off the board to put the ball at the 37 and keep it tied up.
You'll have to wonder what Skyline's thinking right now, as they just had a huge run to kind of bite back at the Dragons there, as Appleton lines up under center.
Appleton will take it. He'll throw, and it is caught.
Caught by Noah Kinsley under pressure there. That was a very good catch with some hands right there.
Dragged down past midfield. So move it into Monroe territory at about the 42-yard line. At the 43-yard line, excuse me. 43-yard line of Monroe as a touchdown was wiped off the board, but they come back with a nice little pass, caught under pressure.
So we have about 9 minutes remaining in this half here. Skyline comes to the front. And if you can see on your screen, you have Haley closest to you as
Upton under center will
take the snap, and the ball is fumbled, and it is recovered by the Monroe Dragons. Brandon McDonald coming up with the recovery there as David Carter tried to punch through the line there, and the ball just got punched right out of his hands. He stopped moving, but the ball didn't, with McDonald coming in with a diving recovery.
stumbling, bumbling, fumbling, and Monroe has the ball back. What do you know? So wipe the touchdown off the board and just get Monroe the ball back and some momentum, hopefully.
At the 39-yard line for Monroe, hopefully with that holding call on the kickoff and now this fumble, Monroe will be able to capitalize and be up by a score as we go closer to halftime.
Knights under center with Shiflett and Rucker in the backfield. Hand off to Rucker. He'll bounce outside. He'll look to make a couple moves. Shifty. And gets about 4 on the gain.
There is a flag on the field, as like my brother said, Rucker was wrapped up by about 3 Skyline defenders. It looks as if the penalty is on the holding on the Dragons. So that will move the ball back 10 yards, putting it at first and 20, it looks like, from the 28-yard line of Monroe. My apologies, first and 20.
So a holding penalty costs thing on a couple yards, and it's first and 20. Knights under center. Hand off to Rucker. They got a couple yards. He'll be wrapped up by Skyline defenders, as he will get about 4 yards there. Looks like the Skyline D has been doing their homework, and they have just been containing Rucker throughout this first half here.
You can bet since their first meeting, they learned their lesson with Rucker as he ran and ran against them. And they've been watching film since the last games they've played, studying all that Rucker does and his moves to the outside.
As Knights under center, that'll be a throw to
Hoffacker as he overshoots Hoffacker as he runs towards the sideline.
So third down and about
17 with 7:45 left in the second quarter. give orders. Monroe breaks the huddle, coming to the line of scrimmage. With it being 3rd and 17, at this point, Monroe will just try to move the ball upfield.
Knight's under center. He'll hand off to Rucker again. Rucker will find a hole, and he will be tripped to about midfield.
Coming down to about the 49-yard line there, making it 4th and about 7 or 8, with Knights getting hit fairly hard there on the handoff. Looks like he's okay, walking fine off the field and getting up easily, with our back to punt.
So they went from a fumble on 1st and 10 to 4th and somewhat not manageable. As our
With a massive overshoot of our putting the ball at the 22-yard line with Skyline. Monroe overshooting the snap there and putting it about 2 feet over the jumping hour, with him able to recover it and get off probably a 5-yard punt, putting us right back where we started. Great field position for Skyline. Only difference is there's less time on the clock and they're a few yards closer.
And that's the miscues you don't want to see from Monroe. They need to get their footing down and grab a hold on this game as early on. So Appleton back in center with Appleton back in center.
The fullback behind him as whistles from the referees as we wait for the call.
False start on Skyline to move that back.
Move that back about 5 yards there. Putting the ball at the 27-yard line.
So 1st and 15 for Skyline. Ball at the 27. Nearing Monroe's red zone. As Appleton will line up with the fullback behind him. As whistles blow again.
Looks like there is a timeout on the field with 6:55 left to play. You'll have to wonder what Monroe's coaches are telling them right now, as this is our first playoff game in 3 years, our last one having been beaten fairly soundly. This win will put us to play if we win, will put us to play the number 1 team next week. But Monroe has to get their footing here and put down some solid plays, allowing them to gain yardage and put up some scores to put distance between us and Skyline.
Can't put up scores if you don't have the ball. But Skyline does, and they're looking to score. So after the timeout, still 1st and about 15. Appleton lining up with the 1-2 punch of their halfback and running back behind them.
And there is a flag on the play with
Looks like it's against
what looked like
Monroe.
And a jump from one of their D linemen, putting that back where we started at the 22-yard line, with Skyline trying to cash in and redeem that touchdown from the kickoff from Monroe's touchdown. Appleton back to pass, throwing it up. Haley wide open with yards between him and the defender. That is a Skyline touchdown.
So 13-7, Skyline looking to be 14 after the extra point. That was just a whole host of weirdness there. It was about 16 million whistles there, it seemed like. And back 5 yards, move it forward 5 yards, and when you finally get set, One play score. There you go.
Cummings out for the extra point kick.
It's up, and it is good. So 14-7 Skyline.
And that was a weird couple of downs and possessions with, after the Monroe touchdown, a possible run back by the Skyline Hawks called back by holding, with them marching it down to the 22-yard line, only to have it fumbled by the running back, with the Dragons then picking it up and then going 4 and out.
More like 4 negative out. They went nowhere. They put the ball back at the 22, and Skyline comes out after about 5 or 6 whistles and promptly scores.
So with 6:50 left on the clock and at 14-7 Skyline Hawks, Cummings is back out for the kickoff here, with Jeremy Savoie and Logan Barber back to receive the kickoff.
Cummings is ready. We'll boot it away.
It having a bounce and touching a Monroe receiver. Luckily, number 23, Taylor Putnam, is there to fall on it, preventing any more damage, putting the ball at the Monroe 31-yard line. Last time Monroe was here was just a couple of minutes ago, as you might remember, ending in a botched snap that flew over the punter, Will Hour's head, as he kicked it and put it back at about the 22-yard line for the Skyline Hawks.
So 1st and 10 at about the 31 with 910 and more whistles.
More whistles from the officials.
Flag on the play.
More whistles, more flags.
Against Monroe.
False start against Monroe.
These are things you just can't have in the game. Whistles, flags this early.
This might be reminiscent of last play, or of last series. My apologies. With Monroe starting out with a false start penalty. With the ball now at the 26-yard line.
So Knights will once again line up.
With even more whistles now.
More whistles, more laundry on the field, and more problems.
Another false start, moving it back to the 16-yard line, it looks like.
At this point, you may as well get Skyline its safety. They're going to move all the way back to the end zone. They keep having more false starts and flags.
My apologies. The ball is on the 21, not the 16. As Knights comes out to give orders to his offense. With him to about the 24-yard line, a gain of about 3 there.
With the carry for Monroe.
So I think on this series, because you're backed up so far, there's got to be some implement of a pass play or something, because unless Rucker finds a hole, you're not going anywhere.
With it being 2nd and 19 with 6 minutes and 20 on the clock, 14-7 Skyline. Knights runs back out with the plays for his offense.
See if Monroe can try to warm up on this cold night. Here, it's Friday Night Lights, and Knights is under center. Another handoff around, and that will get nowhere. Maybe a yard or two.
And there is a late flag on the field. As Ryan was saying, it is slightly chilly with it being 37 degrees here in Standardsville at Martin Mooney Field. And as you can see at the bottom of your screen, the players have our new insulated jackets on, similar to what they would wear in the NFL, with William Monroe Dragons on the back. And all the football players say that is a very nice addition, having gotten it in the winter.
You know what else would be a nice addition? Another state title. So let's see if Monroe can pull out this game and then make it farther. As they come back out onto the field for
As the officials are talking, it looks like the ball is on the
39-yard line, it looks like. Monroe will come out for
third down here with only a couple yards to go, as the penalty was against Skyline. Looks like 3rd and 2 with 5:50 left to play in the
Dragons
quarter.
come back out with Knights under center and Rucker behind him. Another run. Rucker will find a hole.
There he
Keep
goes.
moving.
Rucker is up the field with no one to track him down. Possibly a William Monroe touchdown with a massive run by Dupree Rucker with all the yards this first half that might have put him over 153 for the game.
There's a flag on the play.
Though there is a flag on the play, we will see what the officials have to say here. As the penalty might be taking this run back for Rucker. On the sideline, he seems to be very irate as the officials conference. We still do not know what the call is, as the officials are discussing, and Coach Rocha is discussing as well with the officials. Rucker on the other end of the sideline, seeming to be slightly angered about the call. We apologize for the silence, having not known what the call is.
The call is against Monroe.
Touchdown stands.
Oh, the first down stands.
Penalty is unsportsmanlike.
The touchdown.
Excuse me, touchdown stands. And at this point, I assume the penalty will be enforced after the kickoff, as Auer will come to boot it for the extra point and tie this game back up at 14. Welcome back to Martin Mooney Field. It is 14-0 to the Monroe Dragons and the Skyline Hawks. You're with Ryan Flynn and Joseph Flynn here on Friday Night Lights as we are in the Region 3B playoffs. And Will Auer looks to boot it away. He does. That'll be caught at about the 10-yard line. He'll run out shifty, but no. Down to about the 30-yard line.
Flag on the play.
With a flag on the field there.
Seems like we've seen a lot of those flags tonight.
It looked as if the tackle might have been rough with the returner getting jerked backwards. So if I had to wager a guess, it might be horse collar or something like that. But we will see what the referees say. The ball right now would be on the 35-yard line. But with this penalty incoming, we will see what happens. The penalty is against Skyline.
So it looks like they're moving the ball back to about the 25-yard line. So move the ball back to the 25. And good at first and 10 for Skyline as we are tied at 14. Each team hopefully looking to capitalize as we near the end of the second half. That'll be a throw, and it is.
With Haley with the ball on the outside, breaking a tackle and is absolutely rocked by Caden Pritchett there, getting stood up at about the 35-yard line.
With the carry, tackle made by William Monroe's Caden Pritchett.
So right now, it looks to be about second and with around 5 minutes left to play here in the half, 5:15 left to be exact.
With the ball being moved back to the 25-yard line and it being first and 10 again. We have no idea what is going on, so we apologize if we sound extremely confused because we are. So let's replay this first down with Appleton under center.
Appleton will take the ball. He'll hand it off. Spin. Some shifty moves by the halfback.
Fullback
Darian
Darian Santucci with the carry that will move the chains, putting the ball at about the 37-yard line.
So first down with Appleton under center, and he'll look to throw. Now he's scrambling. He'll use legs. Pass line of scrimmage down to about the
44-yard line there before running out of bounds, being pursued by two Monroe defenders and coming up on.
Second and 3. It's Appleton back on center. He'll throw. That'll be caught
By Haley, who steps out of bounds at about the 48-yard line, putting a first down for the Skyline Hawks. Fullback Santucci with a gain of about 3 yards there.
So second and 8, gain of 2, 2nd and 8, nearing 4 minutes left in the half. As the Skyline Hawks try to move the ball down and take the lead before halftime here in this Region 3B playoff.
As the Hawks line up with Appleton back from center.
He'll look to throw. He will. That'll be, I believe that's Haley again. And he will be dropped for a loss, it looks like. A loss of about 1 or 2. As the crowd goes crazy.
With Drew Hoffacker out for the tackle. He is slow getting up and standing about where he made the tackle as he moves back into the huddle. Looks to be okay there, so we worried isn't much. 3rd and 9, a loss of 1 as Skyline comes to the line of scrimmage.
So 3rd and 9, ball on the loss. Looks of about
He
10.
is dropped by David Mack at about the massive loss, putting the Hawks in and what looks like 25. I don't think they're going to make this one, which means they're going to have to bring out the punt team.
You think? I don't know. They could maybe make something.
With all the receivers going deep there, Appleton really did. Monroe defense, which has been stellar all year, pressuring him with Mack able to break through the line, closely followed by number 28 on the defense. Ends up wrapping up Appleton at the what looks like they have spotted the 4th and 25 for Skyline, with Shea Jeffers deep to receive at the Monroe 35-yard line. With Cummings out to punt, we've been seeing a lot of him tonight, punting and kicking. Here's the snap, and the kick is off.
Booming punt. Jeffers back to receive.
The ball bounces and rolls for a little while, with Monroe scattering as it hit, putting the ball at about the 29-yard line as the Monroe offense comes out.
So with a little under 3 minutes to play here, the Monroe offense will engineer a 3-man drill, we'll say, and try to score, take the lead again. So Monroe will try to score and take the lead again here as we are under 3 minutes in the first half. Ball on the 35-yard line, I'm going to say. Nope.
Ball on the 29 with Dupree rolling out to the right, stiff-arming
From
two
he-
people and running out at the 36-yard line there.
With the carry for Monroe.
So that's about a 8-yard gain, I believe. Yes. 5-yard gain. 5 or 6-yard gain.
Spotting the ball at about the 36.5 there, with the Monroe offense coming up. It is 2nd and 4 with 2 minutes and 24 seconds left to play.
So whistles blow, and it looks to be either timeout or flags on the field. Probably flags on the
Yet
field.
another flag on the field with yet another false start against the Monroe offense, with a repeat of 2nd down there, making it 2nd and 14, erasing Rutgers' run and giving the Monroe offense
Just more challenges to work with, it looks like. As Rucker will be slammed back for a loss of about 2 or 3.
He is completely out of bounds when it was caught. An extremely acrobatic catch by Drew Hoffacker. It just happens to be a little bit out of bounds. That will bring Will Auer and the punt team on for a 4th and 8 with 1 minute and 33 remaining in this first half, with the score being 14-14, Dragons and Hawks.
Line breaks the huddle, comes to the line. Ball on the, to be about the 43, 42. And spinning out of a couple tackles. Being brought down.
Anthony dies for any technical difficulties people are having.
He'll look back. He'll throw it again. It is, I believe, Domino who will be, the ball will be down out of